After weeks of silence following her shocking separation from Good Morning Britain host Ben Shephard, Annie Shepherd has finally made her first public appearance. And what a moment it was! As she stepped into the soft evening light outside London's Corinthia Hotel, cameras flashed, fans gasped, and social media lit up in an instant. Dressed in an elegant cream-colored dress, her hair cascading in soft waves, Annie exuded an aura of quiet strength and timeless poise. There was no statement, no spectacle, just a woman standing tall, composed, and ready to face the world again. For those who have followed Ben and Annie's journey over the years, from their university romance to their long, seemingly unshakable marriage, this moment felt deeply symbolic. It wasn't just about fashion or appearances, it was about renewal, about a woman rediscovering herself beyond the headlines. The evening had been planned as a charity gala supporting mental health initiatives in the UK, a cause close to Annie's heart. But no one expected her to attend. When she arrived, photographers immediately recognized her. Yet what stood out most wasn't just her look, but her presence. Her smile was gentle, but her eyes carried quiet resilience, the kind that only comes from enduring heartbreak with dignity. Within minutes, social media was flooded with messages of support. Annie Shepherd is the definition of grace, one user wrote on X. She didn't need to say a word. Her whole demeanor spoke volumes. Another post, viewed over 300,000 times, read, "This is how you move forward, with class, calm, and courage." Across the internet, her reemergence was being hailed as a masterclass in quiet empowerment. For nearly 2 months, Annie had chosen to remain entirely out of the public eye following her separation from Ben. There were no interviews, no statements, no attempts to set the record straight. Instead, she focused on what mattered most: her 2 sons, Jack and Sam, and the simple routines that once anchored her life. Friends close to the couple said the separation had been amicable but emotional. One longtime family friend shared, "There's so much love and history between them. They both knew they needed space, not bitterness." Annie reportedly spent that time in quiet reflection, away from the London spotlight, taking long walks along the Thames, spending time in nature, and reconnecting with close friends she hadn't seen in years. "She's been rediscovering who she is," another friend said. "After so many years standing beside Ben, supporting him, cheering him on, she's now learning how to stand for herself." Ben and Annie's love story began long before television fame and red carpets. They met in the early 90s, while both were students, 2 down-to-earth souls bound by laughter, kindness, and shared dreams. Their relationship always felt refreshingly normal. While Ben's career blossomed on GMTV, Tipping Point, and Good Morning Britain, Annie stayed largely behind the scenes, raising their boys, managing her career as an interior designer, and keeping their home grounded. She wasn't interested in the limelight. Her focus was family, stability, and the quiet joy of everyday life. Fans often saw them as one of television's most genuine couples, a rarity in the entertainment world. So, when news broke of their separation earlier this year, it came as a shock. Not because of drama, but because of how unexpectedly human it all felt. No scandals, no harsh words. Just 2 people who had grown in different directions, choosing peace over pretense. That's what makes Annie's return so powerful. She didn't rush back for attention. She didn't reinvent herself for headlines. Instead, she's reclaiming her identity through authenticity. Fashion experts described her gala appearance as understated brilliance. Her cream gown was intentionally simple, representing renewal and inner calm. The gold-toned jewelry she wore, designed by a close friend, was said to symbolize resilience and connection. Even her choice of a soft, natural makeup palette rather than the polished red carpet look she often wore beside Ben told its own story. She wasn't trying to impress, she was simply being herself. And that, for many, made her more radiant than ever before. As the photos of Annie circulated, viewers naturally wondered, what did Ben think? Those close to the presenter say he's been keeping a low profile as well, focusing on work and family. During a recent episode of Good Morning Britain, Ben subtly thanked viewers for their support and kindness during a personal time of change. He didn't elaborate, but the sincerity in his tone spoke volumes. Behind the cameras, sources describe Ben as reflective and respectful. He's proud of Annie, one insider said. There's no bitterness between them, just a shared hope that they both find peace and happiness. In fact, when asked privately about her appearance, Ben was reportedly moved. "She looks beautiful," he said softly. "She always does." Those 6 words, simple, genuine, and kind, reflected the mutual respect that continues between them. In the weeks following her appearance, Annie has slowly started to step back into the world, but on her own terms. She's been seen attending small community events, visiting design exhibitions, and volunteering with a local mental health organization she's long supported. Friends say she's also begun sketching again, a passion she once set aside during Ben's busiest television years. She's been rediscovering her creative side, one friend explained. It's been healing for her. Art has always been her quiet therapy. And that's perhaps what's resonating most with fans. At a time when social media often glorifies revenge and drama, Annie's story is one of grace and growth. She's not seeking to rewrite the past. She's learning to build a gentler future. For many, Annie Shephard's return isn't just about celebrity or fashion. It's about resilience, about how a woman in her 50s can step forward after heartbreak and redefine what strength looks like. She's showing that starting over doesn't mean losing yourself. It means rediscovering the parts of you that had quietly waited beneath the surface. Her calm presence has become quietly influential among viewers who followed her and Ben for years. "Watching Annie reminds me that dignity never goes out of style," one fan wrote. Another commented, "It's like seeing your best friend finally breathe again." There's something deeply comforting about that sentiment, a reminder that healing, no matter how painful, can be beautiful too. So what's next for Annie Shephard? According to those close to her, she's been approached for several design collaborations, including one focusing on sustainable British interiors, a passion project that aligns perfectly with her understated style. She's also reportedly considering writing a reflective book about balance, motherhood, and identity. Though, as one friend put it, she's not in a rush. Annie's doing things quietly when they feel right. In a world obsessed with fast comebacks and public statements, her slow, steady approach feels refreshing. Meanwhile, Ben Shephard is continuing to shine on television, but viewers have noticed a subtle shift. He's gentler, more introspective, more attuned to the emotions of those around him. Whether it's chatting with co-host Kat Deely or comforting a contestant on Tipping Point, Ben's warmth feels a little more heartfelt these days. Maybe that's what happens when two people share a love that even when it changes form, never truly fades. Annie's story is quietly redefining what post-separation dignity looks like. It isn't loud, it isn't vengeful. It's composed, reflective, and hopeful. The moment she stepped into that London evening light, smiling softly, dressed in cream, her gold necklace catching the glow, she wasn't just making a fashion statement. She was making a declaration that even after endings, there can be beginnings. That love, in all its forms, romantic, familial, self-love, remains the thread that ties us to life. And that sometimes walking alone doesn't mean walking away. It means walking towards yourself. For the generation that's grown up watching